Hey, all, what's going on? This is Dr. Halim Naeem here, and we got a lot going on. So I just want to really go through a couple things from the earlier AMA. Not everybody's watched it. Um, Obviously, Brian answers everybody's questions and things like that, but I just wanted, for convenience of the community, to give a summary, some of the in between line questions, certain things people are asking, all this other stuff. So we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna try and catch people up because there's a number of people who are just getting in right now. And to say for there's certain things that they may not understand, like a node and this and that, and what's all the talk and why the node, why this exchange, why all this stuff. So it's gonna be a little bit more catch up, but then I think we'll be able to get there and get advanced. Um, Real quick, the Safuu token right now is on what's called a blockchain, the Binance blockchain. So it's just one project that's on a blockchain. A blockchain is a section. It's a way of it's an interconnected internet that all the transactions are recorded on there. And so Seifu started as a project on the blockchain, on the Binance blockchain. And Binance is one of the biggest ones. It's July 4th right now, so you're gonna hear some fireworks and some noise in the background. So basically, is a rebasing token, and what rebase means is that every 15 minutes it's going to take a percentage of based on the price where it's at, because price goes up and down, right? And so every 15 minutes it checks where the price is, and then it takes the percentage, the I forgot, point zero point 0.002 something, 2253 I think percent, and it does that 96 times a day. Okay, and so it's not necessarily just a straight line. When you're talking APY as it compounds, it starts doing that, and so that's really cool. So um, there's a lot of other things, nodes and all this other stuff, but what Brian Legend did that was revolutionary was made the concept of a fire pit. And a fire pit is essentially putting a number of tokens into a wallet that no one can access, not even him. And he's actually letting it compound and pile up, just kind of like a dump, like a landfill, like he piles that up. So why would you want to do that instead of just throwing it away? Well, what happens is it piling up makes takes up more of the Seifu tokens. And so now it grows at a higher rate, and then it leaves a small percentage of tokens available because there's 3.25 billion Seifu tokens initially made up. So the vision is eventually this fire pit will take up 99% of them. And so there may only be 30 million or 3 million, whatever um, that is. What 10% would be 300 million, 1% would be 30, so about 32 million tokens at the end of the day, if this all goes up. And then what that also does is because you're taking up 99% and leaving 1% on the blockchain that are actually usable. Okay. The fire pit is up and big, but the but it's not usable. It's still seen on the blockchain, but it's not usable tokens. The it's just gobbling up the tokens that are there in that pit. The little that's left that we transact with makes it a much more valuable token, and that's one of the reasons why the price stabilized. So it's like revolutionary concept. Haven't really heard of that before. Absolutely amazing. So that's there. The other thing about a blockchain is blockchains need to verify itself. So if you go to websites like BSC Scan, Etherscan, Snow Trace, all these other websites that verify all the transactions where you find wallets and what they've done and things like that, every blockchain needs validators. validator nodes. Validator meaning to make something valid, to make transactions valid. And so if you are doing um, if you're doing millions of transactions a day, you need a certain amount of validators for the blockchain to say, okay, this is who did what and how and all this other stuff. So that's very important. So those are necessary. Okay. And this isn't like nodes like you've heard of strong nodes or Thor nodes and all that. No, they're doing DeFi as a service. That's completely different. Those aren't nodes. Nodes are actually real things that happen from you staking or basically stowing away, piling, keeping away in like a depositing your Safuu X. Okay. And we're going to talk about the move to Safuu X. So you need a node, you need validator nodes to run a network. All right. And that's the importance of what is to come. So Safuu wasn't just going to be a project on the Binance Smart Chain. Okay. It wasn't just going to be a project on the Binance Smart Chain. The vision Brian had is it's going to be its own blockchain. So blockchain has a bunch of projects, 100 projects, 2, 3, 500 projects on itself. And that means there's going to be a tremendous amount of money going back and forth every day. The estimation of it would be, according to the Medium article, was between 500 million to 700 million dollars every single day. And so a node or nodes that validate those transactions get a percentage of the transaction fees that come from the blockchain. Okay. And then that's where Brian Legend says, okay, these things can make you a ton of money, up to $50,000 a day. I heard the video of him doing it with the AMA a couple days ago. But then two, I asked him directly in the past voice AMA on Discord, and it was recorded. Like, yeah, he said it with a straight face. So so regardless of what's going to happen in its peak, it's going to be extremely lucrative because you're getting percentages of the actual transactions on the network. Okay. And so here we are with Safuu. Things are, going great and strong. We're battling this FUD. We're doing all this stuff or what have you. And now the nodes are coming out. Okay. Now it's like, oh my God, everybody wants a node. We got to get a node, and all that. And so the timelines were discussed and how many and all that. So we're going to go over some of that stuff today. So that'll give a little background in terms of, just some context about, why a node, Safuu, blockchain, transaction fees, things like that. And so now the timeline is that September the 28th will be what's called a test net. When you're starting a blockchain, you need a period of time before the actual blockchain goes live and you open it up to everybody to test things out, right? To see if things are hacked, to see, glitches and all this other stuff. So they're taking 2 to 3 months to actually do that. So it will start at the end of September, basically beginning of August. They said September 28th, and they'll go until about the end of December. The end of December, beginning of January, probably the new year of 2023, it's anticipated and very highly anticipated that the blockchain will go live. Okay, it'll go live. It'll be there, and everybody's gonna hop in. So September 28th is important because by around that time, probably a little beforehand, so a number of nodes will have to be bought. Okay, and so to be able to get these transaction fees and have this passive income coming in for many, 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 many years to come, you need to pay something. And each node, as it was discussed today, each node will cost $49,000, which is like the cheapest nodes I've ever heard of. Okay, so there's two ways to do it. One, you have to just get $49,000 or some money outside of Safuu, and So yeah, this is gonna. So it's gonna be. Sorry, I got interrupted. $49,000. All right. He also said that there will be the number of nodes, the number of validator nodes, and I haven't heard it be this high before. Okay, because usually, like Polygon has 100, Binance has 21, but this network, this Safuu blockchain, is going to have 300 validator nodes. All right, which is amazing. The thing he also wants is for it to be completely decentralized. So there's obviously some people who have a lot more money than most others. There's people who can buy up a number of nodes, and then it's just, a few people getting rich or what have you. So what he wants, what Brian wants, is yes, give the opportunity for people from day one to get a node. Okay, but there'll be like rounds or waves. So there'll be a certain period of time, and it can begin probably, they said, as early as a few weeks from now, but by the middle of August, nodes will be up for sale for people to actually buy. And then there'll be a period of time that, everybody's going to get like just one node. Like only people will only be able to get one node. Once a certain period of time has gone by and then, everybody's had their chance, then it opens up. But then, you might be like, look, I don't have, $49,000 still. I still got some time that I have to wait for my stuff to rebase. Oh, 49,000, sorry. Two ways. One, have the 49,000 or a portion of it. And then the other is let your Safuu rebase and multiply into the 49,000. So some people even still may not, have that. But never fear, light nodes are here. So you have ways to share validator nodes, okay? And they're called light nodes. So light nodes will not necessarily make as much as the validator node does, but it's portions of it. And you're still going to get a chunk or a piece of all the transaction fees every single day, even with light nodes. And he said he didn't give a number for light nodes. He said there could be hundreds, could be thousands of light nodes. It's, it's whatever. Even if each 300 has 10 light nodes up under them, that could be thousands, of light nodes. So what he's trying to do is decentralize, truly. He's not just trying to give 2, 3, 5 people who already had money even more money. He's trying to actually, in all honesty, he's trying to create as many rags to riches stories as possible. Okay, and so that for that to happen, for you to get a node in the new Safuu blockchain, it's going to have to be in the new token, which is Safuu X. So that's the first reason. So there's a lot of questions about why should I wait to rebase and all that stuff. Not rebase, sorry. Should I wait to exchange Safuu to Safuu X? Okay, Safuu is on the Binance Smart Chain. It's on the Safuu network, what we all have now on Binance. Safuu X is going to be on the Safuu blockchain. Okay, it's going to be on the Safuu blockchain, and that will be the native token, just like Ethereum is. Ethereum's a native token of, like ETH is a native token of Ethereum. BNB is a native token of Binance. Matic is a native token of Polygon, Avalanche. AVAX, Avalanche. So Safuu X is the actual native token for it. So for a period of time, there will be a one-to-one exchange for your from your Safuu to Safuu X. That will not be forever. So some people are like, well, let me just wait till March the 1st and, then do that. So what's not being realized and why the moment that Safuu X comes out, I am going to exchange is because, one, in my exchanging one-to-one, the price can, with the wave of people coming in and buying and doing different things, the price can go up exponentially. So even just the price itself, because right now, Safewoo's awesome. It's pumping. It's at what, 18.80, almost $19 or what have you. But this is a huge token. this we know this was easily at one point it was a $300 token. Okay, so you're talking 25 times, the value, just in the token itself. So that's one. The second thing is to have a chance to get a node, you got to have Safuu X. That's two. Now, obviously, Brian Legend is not going to underdeliver. I don't think he ever has. so, so he's not going to give you something worse for for what you have. If he's going to tell you to switch and exchange something, trust the truth. It's going to be to something better. Okay, it's going to be to something more lucrative. It's going to be to something more profitable. So you'll be like, why? How? Da, 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 and all that. Okay. So he said it. He actually said it. Not numbers, but he said it. Your Safuu right now is getting, until March 1st, it's getting 383,025.8%, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. He said this Safuu X, okay, for 6 months after, for 6 months after it goes live, he said this Safuu X is going to go to, he called it a much higher return APY. So much so that he'll only have it for 6 months. So you got to imagine, okay? You keep your Safuu. Go ahead. Keep your Safuu. And it'll stay. It runs, Safuu will be there. It'll run its course and all that in the Binance chain. But keep your Safuu. But I'm saying, if you keep your Safuu, it's going to be at 383,000%. But that's going to end in March. And then it's going to go kerplunk, okay, to another percentage. I believe the APY, I was doing the calculations the other day, 39 to 40 times your money, so about 4,000% or something like that. That's for another 6 months. And then after that, it's, I think it'll be, after a year, it'll be 700%. Okay. So that's if you just keep it there long term. But price and transaction, things like that, the party's going to be on the blockchain. Imagine, he didn't say the numbers, but if he says he was saying it was bordering, it's like it's not all the way super unsustainable, but he said it's very high. Okay, very, very high. So imagine if you had a token in 6 months that was doing 500,000%, 700, 900. You had some tokens. He might, for the introduction of the blockchain, it might be, I don't know, damn near 1,000,000%. Okay, for 6 months. So then you have to chop that APY in half if you want to see what you're going to get in the 6 months. So even if, for example, you double, okay, what you were going to get in 6 months, that's more than you were going to get if you held this APY until March. If you hold this APY until March, okay, which is 6 months from now. No, it's not. It's like 7-8 months from now. Okay, let's just say, we'll for argument, because the March 1st is the beginning, February, January, December, November, October, and September. Okay, that would be 6 months. So end of August. So let's just say by the end of August, when thing comes out or what have you, you say, all right, what do I do? Keep my Safuu or go to the Safuu X? You're going to get twice as much, at least. With the API, because it grows so much at the end, it's going to be more than twice as much, at least, theoretically. If he says 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000%, 900,000% for 6 months. Okay? Theoretically, he did not say the number, but he's like, it's just way more lucrative. So where are you going to be in the 6 months after? I mean, in 6 months is going to be way more than you would have if you just kept your Safuu. Okay, so then you'll ask, okay, well, what happens after 6 months, right? So after 6 months is where it is a revolutionary concept. No major blockchain, we're talking blockchain, not just the token and a protocol, blockchain, like all throughout the chain, No chain has a flat. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a flat APR that is lower. Okay. I don't know what it will be for the whole year. You know, some percentage per year that you're just going to get. So no token number one has had a flat APR just giving in and of itself. Bitcoin doesn't do that. It stays, if you get one Bitcoin, it stays one Bitcoin. You get one Ethereum, it stays one Ethereum. The price can go up and down based in US dollars, but the amount of actual Bitcoin does not go up and down. Ethereum, BNB, Polygon, AVAX, Phantom, Tron, Solana, they don't go up and down. But Safuu X actually increases over time. It increases. Okay? And so even in a cold wallet, so people had a question about that. Well, if I disconnect it from my MetaMask no, the DNA is the contract itself of the token. It's the DNA of the token in and of itself grows like a seed. So even in a cold wallet disconnected from the internet, and you turn it back on, you have one Safuu and then Safuu X, and then you turn it back on 10 days later, you might have two Safuu. Because it grows. The programming in and of itself over a certain amount of time is programmed to grow over time. And so after the 6 months, you got this flat APR. Okay. And the flat APR is probably going to be more than what you were going to get with Safuu. Okay. And then on top of that revolutionary concept, you have a flex APY. So you have a fixed APR with a flex APY. What is a flex APY? So embedded in this token is not just the growth of it, but also, so there's an inherent straight line growth. There's also a variable growth based on the transaction volume. So every single person who has Safuu X can get pieces of the transaction volume every single day. It's the token itself, actually, in concept, is like a mini node. You're getting a piece of all the action. This is true decentralization. Okay? This is him trying to give a share of all the success that comes in the blockchain to every single person who holds Safuu. This is indicative of a leader who is thinking beyond the box, not outside, beyond it. Okay? And who's thinking people first and numbers and code after. Okay? So overall, even in the long term, where do you think transaction volume for the blockchains are going to go versus the direction of there's going to be a 6-month APY for Safuu if you keep it, and then there's going to be a certain amount of APY that's way lower, 100 times lower. After that, for the next 6.5 years, okay, and then there's something after that for 6.5 years that's 100 times lower than that. Okay, it's going in a direction that, yes, it's still awesome. It's still rebases and you get something per year. But what you're going to get in terms of APR plus a variable APY from the transaction fee and a stupid initial rocket boosting jolt for 6 months of this thing coming out, it just sets you apart. It's a no-brainer profitably. It's a no-brainer, and he's not going to make it. He's not going to even make it any close. He's not going to make it close at all. Okay, in terms of what Safuu X is going to have and the token and the Safuu token. Okay, Safuu will still be around. Safuu will go its course. You didn't just leave that. And the other thing with this that people ask, I know I'm 25 minutes in, but I'm passionate about this stuff. The other thing is, people make layer 2s because sometimes they make layer 2s because of glitches, because of mistakes. Okay? There's no mistake with Safuu. Like, Safuu's actually working very well. We're making a blockchain. Okay, that's a whole other thing. That was in the plan. Everything is happening is in the plan to get people as much wealth as possible prior to coming to this blockchain. Get the community up, get the people up, get everything revved up, and then we can hop into the blockchain together as a people, as a community, into something better that reinvigorates, that revolutionizes DeFi. Okay? So this is not a layer